Good morning and welcome to this week of Business Community Support. As we do every week here, we bring to you topics that are important for our community and the business world. My name is Cheryl O'Hearn and I'm with Spin Market Digital. I'm sitting in today for Jed Burns, who was unable to be with us, but we have a great program for you. We're going to be talking with Kathy and Brandon from MIDAS, and of course we have Kimberly from Small Business Development, and Chris Patrick will be on with Main Street Fort Dodge. So our program today, and we need to give kudos to all of you because we're amazed at the number of people that are checking in on our program here. During the next couple of days, we see several thousands coming in and watching this, either parts of it or all of the program. And we cannot thank you enough for your support and for you joining us for this program. So today we're going to be talking about MIDAS, and they have a special fund that is available for business owners and a great opportunity for our local area business owners, as well as we're going to learn a little bit about MIDAS. So without saying anything more, let's bring on both Brandon and Kathy, as well as Kimberly and Chris. And why don't I have you introduce yourselves? Let's start with Kathy, because Kathy, you took over for Cliff Weldon as Executive Director of MIDAS. Can you tell us a little bit about how long you've been here in Fort Dodge at the MIDAS Group and what that's all about?
Sure, absolutely. So yes, I took over September of last year, so I've been here for 14 months. MIDAS is really an agency, an intergovernmental agency whose sole purpose and purpose is to serve the communities in our 6-county region that we cover. Providing services such as infrastructure development, such as grant writing and administration, codification, technical assistance to communities, as well as we operate 2 different transit systems, the DART system in Fort Dodge and the regional transit system that covers the 6-county area. So we do quite a bit of things in the area and have our fingers involved in a lot of different projects.
Well, and I know that my working with Cliff over the years, I was amazed at what MIDAS actually does and provides for the community and our businesses, not only, like you said, just here in Webster County and Fort Dodge, but as you can see by your logo, the different other counties that it covers. Brandon, you are a new addition to MIDAS as well, I believe. And can you tell us a little bit about you and what you're doing with the organization?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for having us on. Again, I'm Brandon Shaw, and I'm new to MIDAS within the last week here. Very excited to be here, and I'm my official title is Economic Recovery Coordinator. And what does that mean? Well, it comes in place through the CARES Act, some of the funds that came in, and I'm helping, trying to organize some things within the MIDAS County territory, and helping out businesses and the economic development groups and the cities and communities and anywhere I can be helped. That's what we're trying. And one of those areas is the revolving loan funds, trying to get some business assistance out there, which we're very excited to talk about today.
Great. That's wonderful. And that is going to be the majority of our conversation here at the beginning is that as well. And then Kimberly, you work closely with MIDAS as well as Chris. Chris, you're on the board, I believe.
Yes, I am. I have been on the board for, I believe, 2 years. And I was really surprised, too, at all of the economic development that is driven throughout the county region by MIDAS. I'm really glad to be on that board and to work with Kathy.
And that's exactly what this program is about, making sure that we're getting that information out to our community, because sometimes it's amazing. As much as I get to know what's going on in the community, I'm always pleasantly surprised at the things that I learned during this program as well. And Kimberly, and you've been working with them as well with the small business development.
Yes. So we work very closely with all entities that have revolving loan funds. And of course, MIDAS does have a revolving loan fund. And just working closely just recently with Kathy and Brandon on onboarding new clients that come through that are asking about the revolving loan fund and how can we best serve them and make this an easy process as businesses are Some of them are in a state of still trying to pivot and things like that. So we want to make sure that we, do the best we can for them. So that partnership is really important.
And you brought up the thing easy. That's probably one of the things that the businesses really want to know is how to do it and not be intimidated by the process that goes with it. So making it easy is so important. So since that's our conversation today, let's go back to Brandon and Kathy and kind of talk about it. I'm going to turn it over to you two so that you can tell us about the revolving loan fund, how it works, and what businesses qualify and what their first steps would be.
All right, Brandon, do you want to go ahead and take the lead?
Sure, I can take the first slide here we're talking about. We're here to assist small businesses, and we're trying to create and retain jobs with these funds. Obviously, these funds can be used to purchase real estate, machinery, equipment, inventory, working capital, that sort of thing. All the business needs, essentially. And who qualifies? We're talking small businesses within the MIDAS territory, which includes Pocahontas, Humboldt, Wright, Calhoun, Webster, and Hamilton counties.
What qualifies as a small business first? Is there a certain gross revenue, or what would qualify as a small business?
Kathy, you want to touch on that, on the technicalities there, because there are some parameters.
We don't actually have a limit on small businesses. What we do have is a limit on the kind of the amount of loan we can make. So typically it is small businesses, the local businesses. We don't typically make the loans to like a Walmart or anything to that effect. So it is going to be the local businesses that are, not national chains or not regional chains as a general rule.
Okay. So yeah, great. That'll help the businesses to know where to go. So Brandon, tell us more about the revolving loan fund.
Well, we're most excited about this recent CARES Act revolving loan fund. And this just got approval. Kathy's been working hard with the MIDAS group and applying for these funds and was awarded. The plan approval came through last week. And just to give you an idea how fast this stuff is moving, we just happened to have a loan that SBDC was working closely with in the Economic Development Group. And it happened to be a fit in this. And we got approval last week on the plan. We got a loan submission application. And I can say as of yesterday, we actually got it approved. So we'll be looking at closing that soon. So these funds are moving quickly. It's not an idea out there. It's something that's in place and we're going to be implementing rapidly. We've had numerous inquiries over the past 3 or 4 days here on this program. We're trying to work through those. And again, very excited to be helping those communities, and kudos to Kathy getting these funds in here for the area. Biggest things Kathy's already touched on: $125,000 maximum loan. We are looking at some equity requirements on there. 10% would be nice, or sometimes even greater than that. And each loan is going to be a little bit different. It's not a one size fits all. So we're going to be reviewing these, analyzing them, working with applications individually to see what meets their needs and where we can come together. Interest rate that we're looking at, loans implemented and approved before May 6th of 2021, 0% for the first year. After that, we're looking at tying that to a prime, a percentage of. Right now, you're looking at the Wall Street Journal published prime of 3.25. So you're looking at about 2.43 if we take a 75% there. So repayment terms, again, that depends on the type of loan. But if we're looking at new construction or building, brick and mortar type, we can go out to 20 years. Working capital equipment obviously is going to be much shorter. Again, case by case basis there. Monthly amortization as well on payments. So that gives quite a bit in a nutshell right there.
So what if I were a business, and this might be something that I'm looking at. So if I'm going to purchase a brick and mortar, that would qualify? Potentially. Or construction, maybe add-on or something like that with my business, as well as adding new equipment. How about inventory? I don't remember if you said anything about that too as well.
Yes, that is an eligible expense.
Great.
One of the things I wanted to mention is these are federal funds. So we typically put the money into the things that are not necessarily the brick and mortar directly, because we have the environmental requirements we have to meet. So we do oftentimes say that our money is going towards purchase of inventory or equipment or working capital. But that purpose of the project and the collateral can be two different things. But so it is eligible. There's going to be more environmental review if we do new construction or renovation of an existing building, but it is eligible.
Great. So what, if we were talking about businesses in these these communities that you serve, what is our target? I mean, any small business out there, or are we looking at specifics? Are you going to be visiting with certain ones? Who do you see coming in and already talking to you about it in just a week?
Kathy, if you want to put limitations in here, let us know. But I can tell you the inquiries that have come in have been wide and varying. We've had everything from restaurant to individual truckers. It's really been quite the gamut and the range here of applicants. And Kathy, if you could speak to anybody we're targeting.
So we actually don't, in the new plan that we wrote that EDA has approved, we said that while we will be targeting small businesses, women-owned business, minority-owned businesses, one of the focuses of this fund is COVID-related. And so we do want to tie this back to COVID and why this assistance is needed because of COVID. So again, working capital, when there's been holdup because of COVID, the businesses didn't have the working capital. That's an easy way to tie that together. Let's just say a business needs to make modifications to its business in terms of for social distancing purposes, and putting up the partitions and that sort of thing. That is absolutely COVID related. But the truth of the matter is right now with the economy that we're facing, the lending world is tightening up. And so therefore a lot of businesses are having trouble accessing capital, and therefore it is COVID related. It's tightening up because of COVID. So it's easy to make the connection that any loan for almost any purpose is going to be COVID related.
Great.
So Kathy, would like a drive-through window for a restaurant related to COVID be acceptable?
That is a perfect example. Again, when we get to the drive-in window, my question is, how old is the building? So for environmental purposes, yes, that's a perfect example of, businesses who are pivoting to try to meet customer needs that they never imagined just, 12 months ago. So drive-in is a perfect example rather than having them walk into the building.
Great.
And my other question, sorry, Brandon, my other question was, how do people contact you? Do they go to their local county economic developer, or do they contact you or Kimberly directly?
All three.
Yeah.
All the above.
All the above. Brandon, I believe there's a slide that has our contact information, Brandon's information. You can call him directly. Also, again, Kimberly brings a lot of folks through to us as well. And then, as you know, we have economic development coordinators or organizations on our board in every county. So if you contact them, they will also probably direct you to us. One of the things that we really want to try to do is couple our money with the other revolving loan funds out there. We'd like to put a whole package together, so to take advantage of all the different funding sources out there. And, basically we're all getting our money out the door at the same time.
Well, and I think you're bringing up a really good point, Kathy. A lot of people don't realize what kind of funding might be out there as well, over and above. And that's part of the reason for this conversation today, is to get this information out. But with the new loans coming out and new offerings out there, or some people not being quite for sure that they qualify for one, being able to talk to you and people like Kimberly to find out what their needs are is very beneficial. So even just starting a conversation could generate a whole new scenario of how you could help that business.
Right.
Right.
I think there's more things that we wanted to talk about on this revolving loan as well.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, was there more things that you wanted to talk about on this revolving loan?
Oh. Well, just a real quick jump back to Chris there. Wow, what a perfect example, because we actually had an inquiry for adding that drive-up window. It's just, yeah, when I say the range, I really do mean the range. And that was the perfect example. We had that last week come in. And just touching on Kathy there real quick, we're partnering with other funding, and we do not want to leave the local lenders out. We want local lenders. They are a very strong backbone of the Midas community. We want to partner with those as much as possible. And you're right. There's lots of other funds out there that you don't know exist until you start asking and getting around. So we just want to work with everybody that we can to make sure these businesses benefit as much as possible.
Well, and again, that word easy comes in. We're not saying that the whole process is going to be easy, but please do not be afraid. At least ask the questions and find out what you're available with, and using people like Kimberly and the staff at Midas, as well as Chris. What a great resource. She's talking to all the businesses downtown, and of course, any business that I'm working with. Those are ways that we can pass that information on, and as they communicate, everybody knows somebody. So that's the whole idea, of getting that information out to them as well. Okay, Kimberly, do you want to add anything more onto these loans? I know you've got some things that you wanted to talk about, and we want to keep Brandon and Kathy on here as well.
Right. So the things that I want to emphasize fit hand in hand with what Brandon and Kathy are talking about, and my slides do as well. So just really wanting to emphasize the partnership between the SBDC and Midas to make sure that these loan funds get out to the businesses that need them. Brandon brings up a good point, and Kathy as well, as far as these loan funds aren't meant to compete with lenders in any way. It's a great way for a lender to partner with Midas and really assist a business in what they need right now, whether it be working capital or inventory or what have you, or a window to a drive-up window. So again, there's no competition. It's certainly a partnership all the way around to help our communities and our businesses, and just during this time period for sure. Kathy's done a great job of streamlining the application. That took a lot of work on her end. Those federal applications can be kind of lengthy. It's always worth the work. If you really want it, it's always worth the work. And that's where the SBDC comes in, is kind of taking that off of the plate of Midas and working one-on-one with clients to make sure that they've got their T's crossed and their I's dotted, and kind of taking some of that worry off of them. And during this time when business owners are busy doing what they do in their businesses, that's certainly where we can come in and assist them. So, just the partnership, and Brandon and I we've barely touched the tip of the iceberg as far as working together and really figuring out the partnership, because he's new, he's hitting the ground running, and Kathy's extremely busy in everything that she's doing in Midas, and it's a busy world. We all exist in a busy world, and recently I think it got a lot busier with the COVID time period.
Sure. One question I'm going to ask, is there a cap to the amount of dollars that you're going to be able to lend?
Unfortunately, yes. This comes through at $500,000 on this particular revolving loan fund. Is that correct, Kathy? Yeah. So, but to that, we do have other revolving loan funds within Midas, and also, there's some other funds within, these groups we're talking about, the economic development groups. So we're going to be trying, and that's part of my job, trying to coordinate. And, if we get an inquiry, say, hey, there's other funding out here with this group. Let's put you in touch and see what we can do. So there are lots of revolving loan funds, but this one in particular is limited at $500,000 right now.
So Brandon, are you and Kathy working on a compilation of all of the revolving loan funds within your organization and network?
Yes. We've been reaching out to the economic development groups and talking about that. And, there's some basic ones that we can, say, yes, it's this is available really quick, but there's lots of little micro ones out there. And that's what I'm trying to work on specifically. And one of my tasks is saying, here's, 10,000 or 15,000 you can access that don't get the publication that a lot of these other bigger ones do.
So first steps would be to contact either anybody from the Midas Group or Kimberly, and let's put up the slides for SBDC so that we can talk a little bit more about SBDC and how that coordinates, because I think there's some really important points that both Brandon and Kathy would relate to on that slide from Kathy or from Kimberly.
So just recently, as of yesterday, like as Brandon said, we did have a client that we were working with that did get approved for a loan through MIDAS, and that particular client was referred to the SBDC through a lender. So that's one way that the referrals come into either us or MIDAS is from a lender. And then, of course, economic developers and things like that. And some people just know about the resources and seek us out on their own as well. So, and that's where we have an opportunity to say, there are things out there, and we go through these things that are available with clients. But the way that, so that kind of takes care of that top gap financing there, where we do talk to all of our clients about what's available and how we can partner that gap financing opportunity through MIDAS with their lender, if that's the way it needs to go. So all those things, and like Brandon said, there are micro loans out there. There's so many little things that it's just hard to know, and unless you really have an active list in front of you, it is hard to know everything that's available in all the counties and communities and things like that. So we spend our time doing a lot of business planning. The business plan itself, we do spend time on that. In this situation, for this particular loan fund, Kathy and I work together to streamline the business plan. I'd like to revisit that and maybe look at that again, just to make sure we have it. Now that we've kind of gone through that a little bit, make sure that we have the information that MIDAS needs on that. But we've really changed the business plan component for this particular loan fund. So it really, business plans have changed, and they are changing. They're evolving to much more of a lean business plan, not the lengthy business plans that we knew of years ago. Nobody has time to read all of that. And so we're going with a very lean business plan process, and just making sure all the information is very good, very accurate, and concise for the loan committee that will be reading that business plan or reviewing it. We do assist very closely with the financial projections. The numbers have to be the clients. We don't tell them what their numbers are going to be. That's not our job, but we will take their numbers and put that into cash flow projections. But I will say that if something seems to be off, or maybe the client's thinking really anxious and shooting way too high, it is our job to kind of bring that in a little bit and talk about that. So we do our due diligence on that as well. But helping pull together those financial projections that are required. And I'm just going to go down through some of these other pieces. One of the big things that we're seeing right now, and it's going to keep happening, is business transition. And so, making sure that a business can transition and it doesn't close is a great way to use these revolving loan funds, and partnering with a bank and keeping that business open and transitioning from either one generation to the next or to a completely new owner. But we are dealing with a fair amount of business transitions right now, and we hope that keeps happening, right? We want those businesses to go through that transition process and not just shut their doors. So that is definitely a big focus of what the SBDC is doing, and really Empower Rural Iowa, the task force that I serve on with Empower Rural Iowa. That's a huge initiative coming off of that task force, as well is business transition and succession throughout our rural communities. So again, these revolving loan funds are a great way to partner with that and a lender and making sure that happens. So really, any kind of assistance a business would need, or an entrepreneur, we're there to help with all of that. And I just, a lot of people know this, but I want to make sure that they know that all of our services are free and confidential. And so we're able to do a lot of assistance and a lot of things to help through the process with no fees whatsoever. So. And what would be on the next slide?
Okay.
Any questions about any of that?
I think your comment though, that the confidentiality, because I know that's always a concern on there, is always a concern out there as far as people not wanting everybody to know what's going on. Because
Absolutely.
especially with COVID, there may be some issues that they've had a very profitable business, and maybe the last few months it's not that way, and they're scared. So that's a very important comment to really reiterate out there, that this is confidential. It is a free service, and while it's free, it's also some people may think, okay, well, it's not comprehensive, but we all know that everything that you're doing there is just as comprehensive as if they were to pay somebody a large sum of money to
Right.
put together for them.
Right.
Those are all important things that people need to understand when they're coming in, and there's going to be some hard questions asked, right, Kimberly?
Right. You know, I think the thing that is kind of nice about what we do is that we're an outside. I'm an outside person. I'm not your accountant, your attorney. You know, I'm not somebody that's in your organization. So being able to have that confidential conversation with somebody that's completely outside of your community and what you do makes it a little easier for a lot of business owners. So, and you're right, Cheryl, there are businesses that are having cash flow challenges and who are just completely caught off guard. And we were all caught off guard. But quite honestly, if you didn't have the cash position going into this COVID crisis, you're feeling it much more than maybe certainly a business that had a better cash position. So, you know, just jumping on that right away and doing a cash flow analysis and seeing, you know, putting together what can we do and where can we eliminate some expense. And sometimes that takes a hard conversation that I'm willing to have with a business owner. And because, you know, that's just what needs to happen. And so that is a big part of what we're doing right now.
And you're what I call fresh set of eyes looking at something, because as a business owner, you have so much invested, not only financially, but personally with it. And sometimes the vision gets a little clouded because of those things. And having somebody like yourself look at it and ask the hard questions and start thinking about other ways that things can possibly be managed or done or whatever it may be, plays a huge part in all of that.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, one of the best things that that was told to me years ago when my husband and I had some business consulting that we were paying a pretty good price for. But, you know, and I've been in business with my husband for over 30 years. So I've seen a lot of ups and downs, certainly. But one of the best things that I heard was your business doesn't care about your emotions. You know, you're very emotional about all this, but your business doesn't know your emotions and it doesn't care. And that is so true. The business is the business. It's black and white. It's numbers. And sometimes we really have to step back as business owners and put our emotions to the side and look at it like it really is. And sometimes that's hard because we've made decisions, or we've put off decisions that we should have made sooner. And so that's the conversation that we can have. And I tell that story a lot because it's so true. And you know, when you put everything into your business and you work hard to build it, it's very emotional. And business transitions, the emotions come out in that as well. So that's a very good point, Cheryl.
Well, and also it's very encouraging to hear when you've actually been in the trenches. You've been for this many years with employees and all the other things that go along with a business. So you have that personal experience that sometimes if you're working with a lending institution or something like that, they may not. Their whole life has been in the banking industry and not out there actually being as a business owner. And that makes a whole different perspective to look at.
You're right. It is. So yes, when it comes to dealing with employees and just all the issues that can come up in a business, I've I've got lots of stories. That's for sure. Lots of stories.
That'll be our next week's story, our next week's program, right?
Okay. Well, I think that confidentiality piece
That last
strongly with business succession or transition, Kimberly, knowing that you're confidential and you've been there. I think that really helps those businesses as they transition, because they don't want the public to know that maybe the doors will close if
Right.
they can't find another buyer.
Exactly right. And, we get asked so much for to have workshops and things like that. What can you do? Let's do a workshop on business transition and succession. And the thing of it is that your local people will not attend that workshop. What we'll find is we could do a workshop in Fort Dodge, but the people who attend that workshop might be from Sioux City. I mean, seriously, Mason City. And, if we had a workshop in Sioux City, then your Fort Dodge people will travel to Sioux City because of exactly what Chris just said, that it's very private to them. They're afraid of it. We're all afraid of what we don't know. And business transition, I'm telling you, my husband and I are in the process of working on our own transition. And our transition, our succession plan was our son. And he worked for us for 5 years after he came home from college, and 2 years of college, and then decided this isn't for him and went back to college. So our business transition just walked out the door, went back to college and graduated, and has a good job that he enjoys. That's what matters, and that's what really mattered to my husband and I. But that left us in a pivot for sure. And so we're dealing with that ourselves, and it's very private, and they're very scared that they're not going to find anyone that wants to run their business the way they want it to be run. And that's the tough part, is that you, as a business owner, you have to really open up your mind that, the name of this business could very well change. There's going to be a lot of change, and some of it you're not going to like. And that's tough. It really is. That last slide that I had up, it talks about Live Plan, and I just want to touch on that real briefly. Live Plan is a business planning format that we have available through the SBDC. It's a great business planning format that is in the cloud. Basically, you just go online, log in. We give you the link. We're able to be on as a collaborator with you, so we can go in and make suggestions to edits that need to be made, make comments, things like that. If you have a partnership or you have an organization that wants to do some business planning or strategic planning, we can add as many collaborators as we want to this. So it's a great platform. It is SBA approved as far as that's concerned. So I guess all that means really is that it's bank approved as far as the projections and things like that. So it does build financials as you put in that data. It will build charts and graphs if you tell it to. So this is a great tool for anyone that might want to use this for, if they're going to go get a loan and they need a business plan, or if they're just wanting to do certain strategic planning within their organization. So I just wanted to bring that up and point that out as a tool that's available at no cost. We can allow anyone to use it for 90 days at no cost, and then it's a very minimal cost. It's like $35 for a year access. So very minimal after the 90-day period. But again, a very good tool. And honestly, if I would talk about all the tools in our tool chest, it would take a while. So I just brought that one with me this morning because it does relate to MIDAS and the business planning process. And if a company would need a more extensive business plan because of their project, we certainly have some tools available to assist with that.
Great. So, and here's a slide to let you know how to get a hold of Kimberly. And if you did not know this already, they are actually located here at Iowa Central in Fort Dodge now. They are located on the East Campus, which is on the P59 exit going out of Fort Dodge. So it'd be on that area. And so you have both Kimberly and Darcy are in there all the time or periodically, or do you have certain hours that you're in Fort Dodge?
It really depends on where the client flow is and what's happening. So it's always good to call. Right now, we're really not meeting in person. We're doing Zoom meetings and phone calls, especially while it seems that COVID is spreading more and more right now, and our numbers are a little high. So, calling us and emailing us is a great way to get a hold of us, and we'll certainly. We've had great success meeting through Zoom. The only time that we're really meeting in person is when there's a language barrier, and we will certainly do everything we can to make sure that we can accommodate clients who need to meet in person. So, but yeah, our phone number and our email is a great way to get a hold of us.
Perfect. And I'm guessing Brandon and Kathy, it's very similar for you too, and working on these projects when they're coming in, that you're probably using various communication methods versus face-to-face as well.
That's correct. A lot of phone time right now.
On there. Cool.
But we're willing to, go out, and do what it takes. I mean, we're not just phone. We're not going to be bound to our desk. I mean, we will do what it takes to get out there and help.
Well, I think though that's important for people to know, that don't be afraid based on COVID right now and maybe some of the climbing or the issues that are going on out there. You can still communicate. We can still get a hold of each other and put these things together. It just might be a little bit different format than what you're used to. And we're pivoting, right? We're just pivoting the way we used to do things out there. Chris, do you have anything else that we need to add to this group conversation here as far as what's going on Main Street and your work with MIDAS and SBDC?
Well, I think I just want to say that with these CARES Act funding, it's a great tool for businesses that are planning a transition or succession plan within the next, few months. So please reach out to Kimberly or Brandon for that. And all of us we use our networks with each other to give our clients the best advice and connect them to other organizations all the time. So I truly enjoy working with both Kathy, Kimberly, and I've just met Brandon this week. So it's been a short-term turnaround, but I'm really happy that MIDAS has hired him for this position. And as always, Cheryl, I work with you all the time. We have a new business in the downtown, a great story of succession planning for bloomers. We have Rebecca Reitmeyer, who had worked for the original owner back in the 90s, who had left Fort Dodge, came back, and has purchased the business, and she just reopened on Tuesday. So if you're downtown and you are thirsty, please stop in. She has great coffee and beverage products, along with some really nice lunch items, and she'll be open Saturday morning. So if you are out and about and shopping, of course, social distance and masks on, please stop in. We're working along with our businesses for, of course, fourth quarter, because we're in it already, and some really great opportunities that will happen in November and December to pull people downtown, and also continuing our partnership with SBDC, Lisa Shimkat, and shopiowa.com. So it's another great tool for those businesses in some of MIDAS's smaller communities too, to get their products online through that communal website. So I know Kathy and the economic development folks and her network are pushing shopiowa.com as we are too. And Kimberly, you have that great light box that you're rolling out.
Yeah.
So
thanks for bringing that up. I was going to mention that. Thanks for bringing that up, Chris. If there's any business out there, and Chris will be good about making sure that they know this as well, but if there's a business who needs to get their products, they need to take pictures of their products to get them online, we do have the white box available, and we will come to you and help you do that, and kind of take some of the pain out of that. sometimes we get in our own way, right? About getting things done. We do have some tools at our fingertips to make sure that we can assist you in getting that done. So if you need help with taking pictures of your products and things like that, please reach out to Chris or Darcy and I at the SBDC, and we'll make sure it happens.
And I had the privilege of working with some of the businesses when Shop Iowa was here to get some of the Fort Dodge ones. And like you said, Kimberly, once they started doing it, it was, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this here, and can I combine this? And the creativity really came about once they realized that it was not that daunting of a task. It's just physically doing it. That's the thing. It's not that it's hard. You just have to go and do it. And then once you load that stuff on Shop Iowa, the support group behind it has been just really phenomenal. And I can take that attest to that, because we did load some things on Shop Iowa, coffee mugs and T-shirts, and gift certificates on there. So and anytime they had a question, they were calling me or emailing me, and they were very helpful on it. So it's please, you cannot ask for a better opportunity, and it's free for you to use. And if you have not realized it yet, we are in a digital world. And you need to get your information out there, and you need to get your products out there, and digital is the way to go. That's my plug.
So one last thing for Main Street, just about marketing. We did partner with the Fort Dodge Community and Visitors Bureau to have a no cost and low cost. It's a 3-pager about all of the opportunities to get yourself online or through the newspaper, PA, public announcements, etc. And so it's a real comprehensive list, and you can find that on the CVB website or Main Street's website, along with our new Stay Connected for the downtown businesses. It's an opportunity sheet with listing all the retail activities that we do during the year, and those virtual meetings we're holding right now to really connect those retailers so they feel that strong connection to our downtown neighborhood.
Okay. And of course, there is that interactive map that we have on the Main Street as well, where you can actually go in and click the actual businesses in the area by different groups. And the construction downtown is just amazing. If you have not been downtown Fort Dodge for a while, there is not one block where there is not a building getting some type of facade improvement, all the way from the square up to 12th Street. And on First Avenue North and First Avenue South, there's something that is going on in some building downtown. So it's really exciting. And I know 2021 is going to even be more exciting when these projects are done and all the new work is there, and we have that fresh look to our downtown community.
We have 29 active construction projects. So
that's a bit.
33 square blocks. So yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah, because 32 blocks in the Main Street district. So just about every block on there has something going on if you figure the math that way. So anything else that anybody during our conversation has come to mind that we need to put out there and let everybody know about before we?
Well, Cheryl, I'd like to mention, I'll take this moment. We haven't made the formal announcement, but MIDAS Council of Governments is actually gone through a rebranding campaign, and effective January 1st, we are going to be known as Pathfinders Strategic Partners. We have a new logo, new colors. You'll see the buses will be changed out with new colors, much more fresh, much more exciting. So I thought I'd go ahead and take that opportunity to make this announcement for the first time to the public. Hopefully a press release will be going out in the next day or two regarding that.
Excellent. That's very cool, because like you said, everybody needs to freshen up, and MIDAS has been a very visible with all the darknesses and stuff, but adding the new fresh look, that'll be a fun way to start out 2021. And we need lots of fun going forward.
Right.
Well, great. Well, I want to thank Brandon and Kathy with MIDAS. Thank you so much. We look forward to talking to you again as this loan revolving loan that you're doing moves forward. And of course, Kimberly, we've always got things to talk about with SBDC. I think every month you've had something new coming out there for us to have a conversation about. And of course, Chris, there's never a dull moment down Main Street.
Never
a
dull
dull
moment.
moment. So, I want to talk about our guests next week, and we're going to hit on agriculture in the area. So we'll have Angie Reek Hines, who is extension field agronomist with Webster County Extension and Iowa State Extension and Outreach, and Kevin Liebald, who was the farm and ag management specialist with Webster County Extension and Iowa State Extension and Outreach. They will be talking to us on agriculture and where we're at in 2020 with COVID, how it's affected agriculture, how the drought has affected us, how the different weather issues that we've had all on there, as well as pricing out there. I know that's my husband farms and has a trucking company, and it's been an interesting year for everybody out there. So that'll be our guest next week. So we're really excited about that as well. Thank you again, Brandon and Kathy. And as always, the team here that brings this to you every week is Alpha Media. Today, Jen Burns, marketing manager, was not with us, but they always have a production person behind the scenes helping us with the slides and the program. Kimberly with the SBDC, Chris Patrick with Main Street Fort Dodge, and of course myself, Cheryl O'Hearn, with Spin Market Plus Digital. Thank you again, everybody. Have a great week. And the last Thursday of October, everybody, hope our November is a great month as well. And we look forward to talking to you then. Take care.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.